on WMUN 92.5 FM, 1340 AM, and the Gainbridge Ball State Cardinals Sports Network. Welcome to This Week in Ball State Sports, highlighting the Cardinal teams, administration, alumni, and community. Now here's the voice of the Cardinals, your host, Mick Tidrow.
Happy fall, happy October, and happy week 6 of This Week in Ball State Sports. We are back here on a Thursday morning, every Thursday morning from 9 to 9:30 right here on WMUN Muncie. Head coach Mike Uremovich, director of athletics Jeff Mitchell, and newly inducted Ball State Hall of Famer Willie Snead from Ball State football joining us here on the show this week. Starting things off, head coach Mike Uremovich, your Ball State football coach. Appreciate your time right before you walk out to practice as always. Thank you.
Yeah, excited. Willie's going to be in town, too, for the Hall of Fame stuff. Got a chance to talk to him yesterday, and he'll be at the game Saturday, so fired up for that, too.
Man, in addition to being a head coach, you also know telepathy, because I was just about to ask you if you had talked with Willie yet before the Hall of Fame ceremony tomorrow and be there Saturday.
I got a chance to talk to him yesterday, and trying to see if he had any eligibility left and we can get him back out on the field, but the NCAA denied that. So he'll be standing there watching with our players down on the sideline. So excited for that.
Well, Coach, with all the changes happening in the NCAA, and he did forego his senior year of college, there wasn't any wiggle room, even though he played in the NFL for so many years?
I don't know. Some of these guys got 9 years of eligibility, but who knows? But no, he's out.
Yeah, that's crazy. But we're glad to see Willie get inducted tomorrow. Excited to talk with him here this morning and chat all things leading up to it, and then we'll have him on Saturday as well. Coach, when you've had the last 2 weeks, coming off that first bye week as the head coach of Ball State football, how have the last 2 weeks been for you personally to reset things and get ready for this conference push?
It's been great for our team. You know, if I think I said this on Monday, if I could set the schedule every year, we would play 4 games and then, our non-conference slate and then have a bye. We were, beat up. We had some guys miss the UConn game that we'll get back. And just to be able to kind of reevaluate where you're at, we had some developmental practices with our younger guys. Continue for those guys to continue to improve, because we're going to need a couple of them this year, and it'll pay off down the road that they got some work. We had 2 Devo practices, and then obviously to get our team focused in on Ohio, and having the extra time always helps when you're playing anybody, but especially, the defending champs.
With the bye week, did you get a chance to see your family?
I did. I watched my son's JV football team. He plays over at Guerin, and they went to Chittard and got crushed. So got a chance to watch that game. So that was fun on Saturday.
Does your coaching side come out during a game like that, or you just hands off?
I don't say a word. I sit there. I sit there with the parent. I usually like to sit by myself because, as you know, some of the parents are out of control, even at JV games. So I just sit by myself and just enjoy watching the football game.
We love it. Head coach Mike Uremovich joining us on This Week in Ball State Sports to start off a Thursday morning on October 2nd. It doesn't feel like fall yet out there for practices, does it? We're talking like, well, for the morning, I guess it does. But when you get to the afternoon, it's 85 degrees. It's not football weather yet.
Yeah, we've been telling our guys it's going to be 85 by, middle of the first, second quarter. It'll be 85 degrees on Saturday. So we got to make sure we're hydrating. I know we're in good shape, but it will be a little different than what we've played in the last couple of weeks.
Coach, it feels like forever because of the bye week that you guys played UConn on the road out in Connecticut. But when you look back at that, what do you feel like you learned about this group?
Well, they played hard till the end, and we fought and battled against a really good team on the road, and obviously didn't make enough plays to win the game. But when you remove the emotion part of it and watch the film, there's always things we got to get better at. But I thought there were some very positive things in all 3 phases of the game. And, like I said, we were in it at the end and honestly made a couple mistakes that could have led to a different outcome. But I was happy with the way the guys played, the way they handled the trip, and be able to get back here and get back to work for the MAC schedule is exciting.
You mentioned the never giving up and the never quitting. It was pretty evident there in the fourth quarter, down 2 touchdowns. Team went down and continued just to pressure UConn's defense and scored that touchdown right before the game expired. With that drive specifically and that fourth quarter specifically, how much confidence does that give you that this group is going to give them everything that they've got every week?
Well, I know they will. You know what I mean? And I know that should be a given, and that's our standard here. But we both know that doesn't happen everywhere in every program. I mean, you need to play hard every play, and our guys have done that in all 4 games. They really have, and there's things to fix, but they've given us great effort. They want to win. They're improving every week, and I know that we've improved over the last 11, 12 days heading into the MAC conference schedule, which is it's exciting for me to get these guys out there on the field Saturday and watch them play.
Coach, against UConn, had the trick play, Keon throwing the touchdown to Kyle. Are those plays, especially on fourth down, do you have like an idea that that's coming, or do you just say, you know what, this is the right time? I've got a feeling that this is the moment to do this play.
No, they had played cover zero, which is basically all-out blitz every snap of fourth down this year, and pretty much every snap at like 2 or 3 the previous year. So we knew they would be in that coverage. Well, you hope. You never know for sure. But you hope that they are in that coverage. And in that coverage, in cover zero, you're blitzing everybody, and most people don't account for the quarterback. So we had practiced that play. We put in those plays during training camp, and we got about 12 to 13 of them that we practice. And then, that way when you get to a game week, it's not something new that you've done. So we actually had ran that play in training camp. I think it was the second week of camp. But we hadn't seen a cover zero team until UConn. So we ran it there, and they did not cover the quarterback, obviously.
And Keon Magwood threw an absolute dime.
I don't know about that. That's what he'll tell you. I mean, we had to tell him to slow down a little bit for it, but that's all right. We got in the end zone.
Head coach Mike Uremovich joining us on This Week in Ball State Sports on a Thursday morning. Coach, we talk about Kelly. He's now rushed for a touchdown, passed for a touchdown, receiving touchdown as well this year. How are you seeing him settle in as quarterback now that he's been the QB for 4 weeks, especially since he hadn't been QB since 2023?
Yeah, he's just getting more and more comfortable. Everybody talks about, he's played before. Well, he played, 5 or 6 games 2 years ago. You know what I mean? And then had a year away from the position. So he, like the rest of our team, should continue to get better and better and more comfortable in our systems as we play more games and get an opportunity to go through more game plans. So I do feel like he's played better every week, and he is getting much more comfortable in our offense. And I'm excited for him Saturday, just like the rest of the guys, to show the improvements we've made.
From a passing standpoint with Kyle, how are you seeing that develop?
He's throwing the ball more consistently because as you practice things more and as you see more looks and you have been more experienced in the offense, obviously you make quicker decisions. I mean, it's no different than you watch a rookie quarterback in the NFL as the year goes on. They should be getting better because they've seen 4 different coverages to this route. They should know where to go with the ball and anticipate a little bit better. And I thought he did that at UConn.
Head coach Mike Uremovich joining us here on This Week in Ball State Sports. Got Ohio for the second home game of the year, Coach, this Saturday noon kickoff. When you look at Ohio, especially on the offensive end, Parker Navarro is kind of the person that gets everything started at quarterback. What do you see when you turn on his tape?
He's really talented. He's if there was an MVP of the league, he would be hit. For what he does for their offense. I mean, they're a check-heavy team. They're checking plays at the line of scrimmage. They're an RPO-heavy team, which means he's kind of like a point guard on a basketball team running triple option. I mean, he's working the dive, and if the dive is taken away, he's pulling the ball, and then he's got the option to run or throw. He makes a lot of great plays with his feet. I mean, Rutgers and Ohio State game, I mean, he's getting first downs, and then West Virginia, who they beat at home, he had some big attempts rushing to move the chains for them. So he is by far one of the best talented, most talented players in our league. But he's got a real good tailback in the backfield that has got over 200 yards after contact. And then going into last week, they had the nation's leading receiver as well. So they got one guy at each level that you really got to focus on and make sure that you are taking care of them, because they can beat you he can beat you with his legs. He can beat you throwing it. The tailback is really talented. I mean, they're a good offensive football team. How
pivotal is it to keep Parker Navarro in the pocket in a week like this with all those pieces you just mentioned?
It's the whole game. He cannot beat us running around making plays with his feet because he's done it to several people throughout his career, and he's really good in the pocket. Don't get me wrong; he can throw the football, but he's really good when he's out creating and outside the pocket and deciding to throw it or run it.
Head coach Mike Uremovich joining us on This Week in Ball State Sports. Coach, always appreciate your time. Have a good practice today, and we'll talk soon.
We're ready to go. Appreciate it.
That's head coach Mike Uremovich, Ball State football, joining us on This Week in Ball State Sports. We'll step aside, come back. Director of Athletics Jeff Mitchell and Ball State football alum and newly inducted Hall of Famer Willie Snead up next on This Week in Ball State Sports.
Behind every strong hip and knee. Behind every strong shoulder.
Good catch.
Behind every strong team. is our highly skilled team of experts in orthopedics. IU Health is the official healthcare and sports medicine provider of Ball State Athletics, and we're here to keep you moving. From acute injuries to chronic pain and conditions, go where the athletes go. Walk-in appointments for new injuries are available Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can always schedule a same-day or next-day appointment and wait from the comfort of your home. Visit iuhealth.org/MuncieOrtho to learn more.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our lower prices. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Back on a Thursday morning here on This Week in Ball State Sports. Second day of October. We're already in the midst of fall. Football weather is going to eventually be in full swing. It's 85 degrees and sunny every day here in Muncie, but eventually we'll get to the 60s and 50s. That is to come. Joining us next here on This Week of Ball State Sports, Ball State football alum, NFL legend, Ball State legend, Hall of Fame inductee tomorrow, Ball State alum and wide receiver Willie Snead. Willie, really appreciate your time and can't wait to celebrate you tomorrow.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on this morning.
Of course, Willie. Congratulations on the call to the Hall of Fame. How excited are you for tomorrow?
I'm stoked, man. It should be fun. I'm really looking forward to getting back to Muncie and really seeing everything and getting back on campus.
When's the last time you've been to campus?
It's been like almost 6-7 years now. It's been a while since I've been back to Muncie.
When everything's changed, by the way, Willie, when you get onto campus, I'm excited to hear what your thoughts are about the evolving of campus.
Yeah, I've heard Ball State has grown a lot since I left. Like, the facility is totally state-of-the-art. Campus has new dorms. Like, I heard La Follette isn't there anymore. It's like, I'm kind of scared to go out there and just see it because I might not recognize it. Yeah,
I can't wait for you just to walk down McKinley, like from the duck pond and the tennis courts to the bell tower, and just see what you see is different. Willie, when you found out that you were being inducted to the Hall of Fame, how did all of that come together?
Yeah, I got a phone call from my old coach, Pete Lembo, and I honestly thought he was calling me to give me a job or something. But towards the end of the conversation, he told me what was happening, and he told me I was going into the Ball State Hall of Fame this year, and I was just like in awe, really surprised, and grateful at the same time because it's something that really didn't come to mind at first. But after, he told me and I had time to process it, I just became so grateful that I was just even considered to go into the Hall of Fame because it's been so long, but I feel like it hasn't been that long since I've been to Ball State. And it was really just, the recognition of my time there and the impact I had in 3 years. It was just a really humbling moment and really grateful to have this opportunity to be able to be inducted into the Hall of Fame with a whole bunch of great Ball State legends.
The Ball State Hall of Famer tomorrow's induction is Willie Snead getting that call. Willie joining us from This Week in Ball State Sports. Willie, you mentioned Coach Lembo was the one to give you the phone call and have the conversation with you and welcome you to the Hall of Fame. Do you talk with Coach Lembo a lot, or was this kind of a phone call out of the blue in that case?
Yeah, this was a phone call out of the blue. He hit me up on Twitter and was asking if I still had the same number. But, since I last saw Pete, he's been in big places, man. He's been at different universities. Now he's at Buffalo as the head coach. So he's been doing well since he left Ball State. And it was nice to receive a call from him and just, chop it up with him because it's been some years since we've spoken together.
Willie, I know the emotions and the memories will start to flood back when you're on campus, walking around and at the football stadium and going through the Hall of Fame ceremony tomorrow. But when you look back at your time at Ball State as a Cardinal, what do you remember most?
I just remember, the relationships that I built both, on and off the field with my teammates, my coaches, staff at Ball State. I just had a memorable, time there. I met my wife there. We have 4 kids now, and, we've been together for over a decade. And I have so many memories of just, teammates and just classmates that I have in the sports administration program. I think it's just the relationships I built during my time there at Ball State and how it prepared me to leave Ball State when I did, and to be able to go out into the world and have the confidence to know that I can make it and I'm prepared for what the world has for me. And I think Ball State really prepared me for that moment, for that decision to leave when I did. And like I said, I'm forever grateful for just the memories and the times and the people that I've met during my time there, because they made a huge impact in my life. And, like I said, going back to Ball State, tomorrow will be such a whirlwind of emotions because, I have so many great memories there. And, I'm hoping to see a lot of old friends, a lot of, old staff that, really helped me along my journey there. But I'm really excited just to be back and just to get back into, just the Muncie environment and just feel those old emotions that I built during my time there.
Willie, you mentioned your wife and your 4 kids. Are they all going to be there too this weekend?
Unfortunately, not all of them. I think when I was talking to them, I asked them if they wanted to go up to Muncie where Dad played, or did want to stay with Grandma and have a weekend with Grandma. And to them, that was an easy decision. They're going to stay back with Grandma, but my wife and my son probably going to come up there with me. But if not, I got a couple teammates that are going to pull up and, come and support. I got love all over the place, man. So it's going to be a fun weekend either way.
Willie Snead joining us here live on This Week in Ball State Sports, inducted tomorrow into the Ball State Athletics Hall of Fame. Willie, you played in the NFL for a decade, and you've been training, and you put out a post earlier this year saying that you're going to continue to try and pursue that. What's it like for you to be going through that process, staying ready whenever that call could come?
Yeah, it's a challenge, man. I'm 32 now, and, I'm more seasoned than I was before, and I feel great. I feel like I'm in great shape, and it's really just waiting for the right opportunity to call my phone. I've had some calls recently, and I was hoping that, a lot of those will wait until after this week, so I can actually be there at Ball State and be inducted and experience that. But it's been a different challenge. And, I know I'm at the end of my career, and it's hard for me to let go of the game playing-wise. But I know that, when I do hang them up, the next chapter of my life is going to be just as exciting as, the part where I was playing. So it's a challenge, not being on a team right now and waiting for that phone call. But, I just continue to prepare. And being around my family, I've been around my family more than I ever have, just in my career. And I'm really just taking it in and enjoying, the time around my family and just waiting for that next phone call, man. It's always exciting, but it's challenging at the same time.
Well, Willie, let's get you through the Hall of Fame ceremony Friday, Saturday. Manifest that phone call happens right after. Let's do that.
Amen. I like that sound.
Willie Snead joining us here on This Week in Ball State Sports. Willie, when you look at your NFL career as a whole, how would you sum it up? How would you describe it?
Man, I've just been resilient my whole life, my whole career, having to really prove myself, not getting drafted, and taking the path of just trying to catch on with the team and finally catching on with New Orleans. And then, the following year proving myself and making the team out of four receivers, and it started at 14, and I really just gutted through, learned from my mistakes from the previous year, and really made that team, play with some Hall of Famers, really made a lot of good money so I could provide for my family and have generational wealth. And it's been awesome, man. I've been an underdog my whole life, and it's only fitting that when I got to NFL, I had to take the hard road. I had to take the back door into the facility to really get what I wanted out of this. And, this was my dream. When I came to Ball State, this was my dream to be in the NFL, or at least have an opportunity to at least step on the grass of an NFL field and live my dream. And I got to do that over a decade. Like you said, it's been such an amazing ride. I've met so many great players and coaches that have put wisdom into my life. And it's been an awesome journey. Even though, I feel like I could have got so much more out of myself and my career, nevertheless, I when I look back, I've been so blessed to be able to be in the places that I've been, be around the people that I've been around, and to experience games and big-time moments where, I can always live those moments up with my family and look back and really be proud of it.
Willie Snead joining us here live on This Week in Ball State Sports. Willie, we appreciate your time here today. We're all very proud of you and can't wait to induct you into the Hall of Fame tomorrow and celebrate this weekend with you. Thank you for joining the show, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Mick. Thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it.
That's Ball State football alum, wide receiver, and soon to be inducted tomorrow into the Ball State Athletics Hall of Fame, Willie Snead. Can't thank Willie enough for joining us here on the show today. We'll also talk with him on Saturday during halftime of the football game to recap how the ceremony went for him and talk about the emotions of that. So really appreciate Willie's time this morning, and then thank you in advance for the Saturday conversation that we'll have. That's Willie Snead, Ball State Hall of Famer, inducted tomorrow. We'll step aside, come back here on This Week in Ball State Sports. Director of Athletics Jeff Mitchell is next, breaking down everything happening right now and the first taste of fall. Jeff's next on This Week in Ball State Sports.
Behind every strong shoulder,
good catch.
Behind every strong team is our highly skilled team of experts in orthopedics. IU Health is the official healthcare and sports medicine provider of Ball State Athletics, and we're here to keep you moving. From acute injuries to chronic pain and conditions, go where the athletes go. Walk-in appointments for new injuries are available Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can always schedule a same-day or next-day appointment and wait from the comfort of your home. Visit iuhealth.org/MuncieOrtho to learn more.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our lower prices. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
It's October 2nd and week 6 of This Week in Ball State Sports, live on WMUN every Thursday morning from 9 to 9:30. Special thank you to head coach Mike Uremovich of Ball State football. Willie Snead, wide receiver, jumping into the Hall of Fame tomorrow, just joined us. Thank you to Willie. And up next, Director of Athletics Jeff Mitchell joining us live on the line here today. Jeff, appreciate your time amidst this busy week, especially with the weekend that we have coming up.
Mick, thank you so much. Always a pleasure to join you. Yeah, great week ahead, our weekend ahead. We're really excited about it. The weather's going to be fantastic. We've got some competitions on campus, including football on Saturday, so it doesn't get much better than a fall weekend at Ball State. It
really doesn't. Volleyball's at home for a couple of matches. Soccer's at home. Football's at home. There's fall baseball, fall softball. There's everything going on right now. Field hockey, cross country, women's tennis all on the road. Plenty to go around. On ballstatesports.com/calendar, you can see everything that's lined up there for your home schedule and away schedule. All right, Jeff, when we're diving into a week like this, what is your schedule to make sure that you're getting around to every sport, talking to all your head coaches, and mapping everything out for the week?
Well, the short answer is you can't get to all of them. There's just too much going on, but certainly know what's happening and try to keep tabs of the different games, watching live stats or trying to sneak in a few plays here and there. And, we've had a lot going on just from an office standpoint, and then trying to get ready for this weekend. There's so much that goes into a football game and a lot of meetings the week of, and we want our fans to have a fun experience and safe experiences, and there are a lot of people on our campus that are pulling on the rope together to make sure that game day is as fun and safe as possible. And so there's a lot of logistics that go into it, and then when you tack on an exciting Hall of Fame event the evening before a game, just accelerates not only the excitement but also the logistics that go into pulling off an event like that. And we've got a member of our staff, Paula Hahn, who is really the director of this event on Friday, and has done an extraordinary job to prepare our team and to prepare the Hall of Famers who are being inducted for an exciting event. So I'm grateful for Paula and the work that she's done to put this event on. And Paula's been around for a while and has gotten to know a lot of these athletes over the years as she's worked with them. So it's special for her, too, to see these talented human beings return to campus to be celebrated in our Hall of Fame and to reunite with Paula and other members of our staff that have been here for a long time. So that's always a special moment as well. Absolutely.
I'm glad you gave a shout out to Paula Hahn. She's done an exceptional job with the Hall of Fame ceremony the last couple of years, and can't wait to see what she has on display tomorrow night where these athletes are inducted. Jeff, you mentioned fun and safe environment for a game day experience. And for football on Saturday, a fun experience. The big Bob Ross bobblehead is going to be making an appearance, it sounds like, here for Ball State football.
Yeah, nothing screams fun like a big 9-foot Bob Ross caricature. And so I've seen it. It's enormous.
It's huge.
It'll be, as we celebrate Community Day, it's a good way to make Instagrammable moments for our fans that come on campus and take a picture with the giant Bob Ross and get to do some painting and just celebrate the community of Muncie while we're watching college football.
I don't want anybody to ever say that you're not with the times. You just said Instagrammable. Instagrammable from our director of athletics. That's impressive.
Thanks, Mick.
I'll take that props. Compliment. I'm giving you props here.
I know. I know you are.
Jeff Mitchell joining us here, director of athletics on Ball State Athletics. Jeff, when you look at Ball State football game day number 1, family weekends in the rearview mirror. You had a couple of weeks since the New Hampshire game to look at things from an operational standpoint, from a game day experience standpoint. How excited are you to have a second home game to make improvements upon what happened game 1, but also continue to give fans that experience for game 2?
Yeah, we love hosting home games, and I wish we had more of them. But we try to improve every game in terms of what the experience looks like. And, sometimes you can control everything about a game day, and sometimes you can't. We got interrupted a little bit in our first home game with the rain. I do not think the rain is going to be an issue this weekend, although it looks to be a little warm. Which is unusual for this time of the year, but it's going to be a beautiful day, and we're excited that we've got a noon kickoff, so a little earlier. So our rhythm and cadence for game day will begin a couple hours earlier than it normally does with the noon kick, but grateful to be on national television on the CBS Sports Network. And, we are, from a logistics standpoint of getting fans into the stadium, I think that went well a couple weeks ago. Looking forward to that again this week with the clear bag policy. And as fans adjust to that, I think in terms of the times and lines has been reduced. Different concession options, easier to pay now at concession stands with not only cash but credit card and tap and pay. Those type of activities reduce the time waiting in lines, and I think that went well. Certainly our folks that are monitoring those lines said that lines moved at a good clip, and we have to monitor that every game because there's always depending on the size of the crowd or depending on weather issues, it varies, but we're monitoring it as best we can and trying to make adjustments. And again, a lot of people on our campus working to make that experience as good as it can be. And we're excited to watch football. I listened to Coach Uremovich's remarks earlier, and I know from my time meeting with him and seeing practice that our guys are looking forward to playing and opening up MAC play. And, as we all know, Mick, anything happens in MAC play or can happen in MAC play. It's a fun brand of football, and it gets started for us this weekend.
Director of Athletics Jeff Mitchell joining us on This Week in Ball State Sports. Jeff, appreciate your time as always, and we'll see you later this week.
Mick, thanks so much. Go Cards.
That's Director of Athletics Jeff Mitchell joining us here on the second day of October. Tomorrow's October 3rd for you Mean Girls fans out there. October 3rd? Anybody? Okay. Well, we'll move on. This Week in Ball State Sports back next week on October 9th, 9 to 9:30 a.m. each and every week on WMUN. Special thank you to our producer, Leslie Griffin. I'm Mick Tidrow saying so long. We'll talk with you next week. Thank you, Willie Snead, Jeff Mitchell, and Coach Uremovich for joining us on This Week in Ball State Sports.